What does professionalism look like behind the chair? Because lately I keep hearing artists say it almost looks like it's non existent. If that's true, I would argue that it's not that it disappeared, but it's that we blurred the line between service provider and friend. Let's talk professionalism and what actually happened to it. So here's what I think. It's not necessarily that we lost professionalism. It's just that we blurred the lines and stopped defining it. In the last 20 years, we've built an industry and just a life where visibility is currency. We're told in everything that we do to show our personality, show our life, be relatable, and be real. But that doesn't just extend behind the chair anymore. It actually also is behind the screen. And not that there's anything wrong with really showcasing your personality on social media, but somewhere along the way, we stopped teaching people the difference between being relatable and being overly accessible. Those two things are not the same thing. And with access to follows and likes, we've kind of sold our soul to just allow people to consistently be in our lives. We invite clients into our world, which can be our routines, our relationships, our opinions, even our off days and get ready with me's. And like I mentioned, there's nothing wrong with that. But there also needs to be a sense of moderation that comes with it. Because when your client knows what stresses you out, what your life looks like around the clock, and how you talk when you're unfiltered, you're no longer just their stylist. You become something else. And it's not always their friend. But what happens is there's a shift. And when you get more comfortable, you also start treating them differently too, whether you realize it or not. Could be your tone that changes. It could be the structure that softens. It could even be the intention behind the service that changes. And suddenly you're not leading the experience anymore. You're actually participating in it. And as awkward as it may sound, our relationship does have a sense of being transactional. Of course, we care about our clients. And of course, they mean more to us than just that financial transaction. But we are still running our own business. And it's really important that we know where to draw that little bit of a line and not allow it to get excessively blurred. And that's not me just making things up. There are stats that say that 86% of clients are actually willing to pay more for a better experience, not just a better result. And consistency and professionalism is one of the biggest drivers in that retention. So when that structure disappears or that line gets blurred, clients may not always say something, but they will quietly stop booking and find somewhere else where they can get that quality experience that they're looking for, no matter how much they like you. The hard truth that I might get a lot of pushback on is that you getting too comfortable can be the reason someone leaves your chair and you're left with those gaps and openings. Not because they don't like you and not because the skill isn't there, but because the experience stopped feeling elevated. It stopped being just about them and it started to become a little bit about you. And that can stop feeling intentional. It can start to feel really casual. And casual is replaceable. And casual is something that also makes you start thinking, what am I paying for? Why does this cost so much? So when I say boundaries and blurring these lines, just for reference, I'm not talking about those don't text me at 6 o'clock, you know, don't just be disrespectful, the baseline stuff. I'm talking about something more than that. I'm talking about how much you live inside your business. Because if your entire personal life is part of your platform, you don't get to control how people perceive access to you. You're already putting it out there, which means they already have it. And if you don't define that line, your clients will. Professionalism doesn't mean being fake. It doesn't mean it being cold. It doesn't mean being transactional. It's just about being intentional and present. I can be warm without being loose. I can be friendly without being too familiar. And I can connect without giving full access or making an entire experience about me, if at me at all. Because the moment you lose that opportunity to make it about them, you stop being the guide and you start being a participant. Do I think professionalism is gone? No. I think we just stopped protecting it. I think we leaned into just being friendly. And if you've ever felt like your clients don't respect your time, your process, or your value, it might be because you opened that door for them to perceive it that way. Maybe you never drew that line and that was never clearly drawn out for them. And now you wonder why they feel like they have access to you all day, every day. Where do you think that line is between connection and overexposure? And have you ever felt it blur in your own business? Comment your experience down below and let's keep this conversation going. But I'll catch you next time when we have another conversation that's not about a blow dryer.